Hello, my name is Margaret Fernandez, Grant Manager for Career and Technical Education. So you want to apply for Perkins V funding. In this tutorial, I will use a fictitious scenario to demonstrate how to complete the new online Perkins V application form. Let's get started. First, I'm going to enter the program name, self-explanatory. Next thing is I'm going to enter the top code. Now if you don't know your top code, I've included the top code manual here. You would just hover over the top, download, open the manual, click in the manual, Control F, and enter your keywords, and then you can scroll through and find your top code. Note the asterisk. If there is no asterisk, that means it's not a CTE program and it will not qualify for Perkins funding. If you have a project that you want across multiple programs, then you would enter all the top codes here for each of the programs. You just need to make sure that the first two digits of the top code are the same. Next, you're going to enter the primary faculty. And the primary faculty is the person that's going to be responsible for the grant, including the data, the reporting, making sure that the spending happens in a timely manner, etc. Next, you enter your dean. And any additional faculty that will be working on the project along with you. Faculty is remote. The next step, we're going to briefly describe the problem that you're trying to address. Now, before I sat down to fill out this application, I would have looked at my data. So here's an example of data for general information technology, but as you can see, these are all the top codes in the 07 category. We have very healthy enrollments. We have some awards. In the region, they're producing pretty good number, and there's plenty of jobs. And also the wages are pretty good. So we know that. Next, I'm going to look at the core indicators. So there's a link here. You have to highlight, copy the link, open a new tab, and paste the link. And this is where our data lives. So I'm going to select Forms. And I'm going to choose a 4-digit top code for this example because the 6-digit top code does not have a whole lot of data in it. And we really need robust data in order to find gaps. So I'm going to select 2018-19 because that is a more complete year than the year that we're in now. And I entered my top code, and here's my data. So this is your core indicators. And as you look across, you can see right away technical skill attainment is down. If you compare what we're producing in 07-01, and you compare that to the state and even our own Rio Hondo College CTE programs, our students in 07-01 aren't attaining skills, which means industry certifications. And then all these NA/NRs, it either means there wasn't enough data or there is no data, no records. NR, NA not applicable. But what's interesting is if you look at core indicator 5, non-traditional participation, you can see that we're beating the state and the college, Rio Hondo College. But so there's for the 07-01, it's females. Females are the non-traditional. So the females are definitely joining our program at a higher rate than other programs in the college and in the state. But if you notice here, non-traditional completions, we don't have enough data. So that could mean that the students are joining the program, but they're not completing the program. So now that I've taken a look at the data, I'm going to go back to my application. And one gap I noticed is industry certifications. So I want to increase the number of industry certifications. Of students. And I want to increase the number of female students who graduate. So those are the two gaps. Now, which core indicators are these two gaps in? So we'll go back to this. So the first negative is in core indicator 1, technical skill attainment. And then the second thing we want to impact is down here, 5B, non-traditional completions. Next, this form is asking us to take a look at section 135, the use of local funds. By looking at this, we'll be sure that any activities we propose are something that is actually fundable through the grant. So if you scroll down, it starts on page 6, section 135, local use of funds, and here is all the eligible things you can do with your funding. So we're going to keep this document open and handy as we move along in our application. Next, we're going to begin proposing activities. So what can we do to increase industry certifications for our students? Well, I'm going to contact the industry certification people, and I'm going to get a set of books that our students can study for the industry certification. So I'm going to purchase books. And then to increase the number of females who graduate, I'm going to access tutoring for them. All right, so right here you might need to pause and go get cost estimates or something like that. So let's pretend I already did that. And my books are going to cost $500. But this is going to be a set of books that I'm going to keep in the class, and all the students will be able to use it. So the next thing I need to do is, where in section 135 does it list books as something that can be funded? So now I go back to my funding thing and my section of the Act where it talks about local use of funds, and I'm going to scroll through and look for it. So the first thing in number 1, it's all about career exploration, so I'm going to skip that. Number 2 is all about professional development. Number 3 is skills and labor, high skill, high wage, in demand industry sector occupations. 4 is academic skills. And 5 is plan and carry out elements that support CTE programs and programs of study. So I think that materials will be in here. And here it is, D, appropriate equipment, technology, and instructional materials. So we found it. So that's going to be in 5D. And then what's the object code for purchasing books? Either you know it, or you can come down here to this code book of definitions and open that up. And then you can do your Control F to find, oh, here it is, books and supplies in 4,000. So this would be 4,000 supplies. For tutoring, I'm also going to spend $500. And now I have to come back in here and look for tutoring. And right here, I see something that says technical education program teachers, school leaders, administrators, instructional support right here. So that's G, 5G. Looks like I'm doing a whole bunch of 5. And now, how do we pay for tutoring in our object codes? and it's right in the 3000s at the very bottom. It's considered a different type of somebody we're employing. So that would be in the 3000s. And hopefully these two activities will impact my gaps. Now, how much am I asking for total? 500 and 500 is nice and easy to figure out. And then I'm going to sign my application by hovering in this box, holding down the left mouse button, and gliding my mouse across like as if it were a pen. And another thing I'm going to do is make sure my dean knows what I'm proposing. So I might have to stop what I'm doing, go tell my dean this is what I'm thinking, and then I can mark yes. If you don't mark yes, you won't be able to submit your application. And this concludes my application. My application is complete, so I hit submit. And then I get this little thank you and a little advertisement to create my own form. How lovely. This concludes this tutorial. If you have any questions, please reach out via email and I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.